Hey, howdy, everybody. So I got some bad news for people who wanted to join me for my outdoor grilling. We actually have a thunderstorm warning here in Austin, Texas. There is some nasty looking weather outside. It hasn't really started pouring yet, but I think it's going to be pouring down rain pretty hard in a moment. So I'm actually having to cook inside in the kitchen. So yeah, Joel, it is going to be kind of a cooking show. So thanks for making it. Cake is eternal. I see that you're here. Sorry if I didn't explain what this is, but yeah, I'm just gonna be like cooking up some food for some friends coming over, and I'm having a little bit of a watch party tonight to celebrate both the Picard season two finale as well as the Strange New World series premiere. I've seen both episodes, so if people want to talk about those, chat about them in here. Don't worry about spoilers. If you haven't seen them yet, you might want to bounce out of here because people might be chatting about stuff you would rather find out in the context of the episode when you actually sit down to watch it. So I am looking forward to sharing my detailed thoughts during the Tex-Trek podcast stream that will be happening tomorrow night at our normal time of 7 p.m. Central. But yeah, in the meantime, inside the hood, Fatheree. Are you talking about my like oven hood over here, or what are we doing? Cerulean Blue saying about spoilering stuff. Not sure what you mean by that. But yeah, I'm having a watch party later. So on the menu, we're gonna do some beef. Oh, you hear that thunder? It's thundering outside. So that's why I am inside. I'm using this little gimbal thing for my phone, actually, for my camera here. So let me see if I can maintain some decent angles on here. Um, but yeah, so the menu is gonna be some beef fajitas, some beef, onion, bell pepper. You just slap that on a just grill it up, slap it on a tortilla. We're doing some jalapeno poppers with jalapenos, cream cheese, bacon, and then I'm gonna grill up some sausages as well, just have like some extra protein out there. Make sure everyone gets full stomach. Not expecting a big group, but some familiar faces. Dave and Brian from Tex-Trek will be here later on, as well as Rachel, who has shown up on a couple of our streams before. So some of our other Austin locals. But yeah, if people want to shout out in the comments what they thought about Picard's finale or Strange New Worlds premiere, just kind of your general thoughts. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Whatever. And are you doing anything to celebrate, like me, having this watch party and a little bit of a stream while I'm cooking up all my grub. Jill saying I use up a bottle of green Tabasco about every other week. Love jalapenos. That's awesome. I'm a huge fan of spicy food in general. I consider jalapenos like that's like baby's first spicy food. I eat a lot of all the stuff with like ghost pepper or habaneros, or even like the crazy like new peppers, the genetically engineered peppers like what's it called, a Trinidad Scorpion or Carolina Reaper, so stuff like that. But yeah, you have to be careful when you're cooking for a group because you have to look out for what my granddad used to call the sissy mouths, the people who don't handle spice, which is fine. Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Some people appreciate the spicier flavors, and some people not so much. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting started. If I need to speak up, if I'm not loud enough, y'all let me know. But yeah, I'm curious to see some reactions from y'all in the audience about what you thought about Picard's finale and Strange New Worlds premiere. As for me, I definitely like one episode more than the other. Uh, so I think that's going to be kind of a general reaction from a lot of people. What I have here is actually my jalapeno poppers. They're already sliced up and got some bacon on them, so you probably can't see it real well. Maybe I can get you a better look in a second. But yeah, so the first thing I'm going to start with is some of my appetizers, obviously, because that's the first thing people are going to be snacking on when folks start getting here in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I think I would like to, have everyone sit down to eat around 7 and then hit play on. We're going to watch Picard first. Some people have already seen it, some people haven't, so we're going to do Picard's finale first, get that out of the way, wrap up Picard season 2, and then dive right on into Strange New Worlds. But I see Chuck, you loved both episodes. Joel, you liked both. Jill, what about you? A great day for Trek. So yeah, I'm mixed, but aim towards positive on Picard. I am very, very thrilled with Strange New Worlds. I'm going to confess to you, I've seen ahead a little bit. I've seen the first 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds. Paramount shared the first 5 with me. I have access to those, but I've only taken a peek at the first 2. I'm going to wait till everyone has seen the first 2 till they're released to the public, and then I'll go on and watch the 3rd episode. But I like next week's episode, the 2nd episode. I also really like it, so I'm looking forward to all of y'all getting a chance to see that very soon. So in addition to the jalapeno poppers, I'm also going to be fixing up some queso with a beef chorizo and Velveeta cheese for the base of it. Just easy, convenient. Velveeta is good for melting. Not the best cheese in the world, but super easy. And you just flavor it up real well, and people will still love it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to brown up my beef chorizo and get that ready to go into a crock pot with the Velveeta. Get that going. Cake is Eternal. Strange New Worlds was fantastic. I'm even more excited than before, so that's really cool. So I'm not the best multitasker in the world. I'm gonna try to talk about Star Trek while I am getting this whipped up. So it's a quick question for all of y'all. Is there anyone watching? I know a lot of y'all are familiar faces, people in the comments, and I love seeing you. That's like the best feeling in the world when I just hop on a stream, and I know that so many of my friends, I think of y'all as friends, these frequent viewers are going to be there. So that's just a really great feeling. I spent so much of my life just growing up in rural Texas by myself, not around anyone else who watched Star Trek or cared about Star Trek. I never really talked about it to people. And then now, through the miracle of the internet and the information highway and the era of communication that we live in, unprecedented access to communication, I get to talk Star Trek with people all the damn time. So that is awesome. Hey, Dan. Hey, Dan CO. How are you doing? But yeah, I'm curious, is there anyone watching? Maybe you're not commenting, but are you not subscribed to the channel? Because we're really, really hoping we could hit 800 subscribers before the big Picard and Strange New Worlds podcast stream tomorrow night. So last I looked, we were at 799. If there's anyone who can hit that subscribe button and push us up to 800, and then leave a comment and let us know that you're the one that got us there, that would be really, really cool. If anyone notices, if anyone refreshes and they see it go up from 799 to 800, please comment and let me know so we can all celebrate. In fact, I'm going to start drinking now just to celebrate the holiday. I'm going to open up a cerveza, even that's not a Mexican beer, which would have been more on theme, but I'm going a low-cal, low-carb option. I normally don't drink much these days unless I'm cheating on my diet, so it's obviously a cheat day today. So that will be justification for some libations, right? Is that the right word? But Joel, thank you for the call out for one more sub. I appreciate that. So, and sorry for like the cooking noises. You're gonna hear some running water. You're gonna see me disappear from screen. You're gonna hear some sizzling meat here in a second. But yeah, so I got my Velveeta cheese. Let me just show you on here if I can. Got my Velveeta cheese. See it right here? Got that cubed up, ready to go. And I'm gonna now cut open my chorizo and get that cooking so that I can start combining all these wonderful flavors together and have a yummy queso to snack on while I get the rest of the food cooked. So how's that look? Okay, yeah, can't quite see me. So yeah, sorry, doing all of this on the fly. I actually have like a better idea of like how to shoot this. If you didn't hear me at the beginning, I said my original plan was to shoot all this outside on the grill outside, but I was unable to do that because it is a little rainy and it looks like we're about to have a thunderstorm. So had to move everything inside, do all the cooking inside. Let's get this chorizo cooking because we love our protein in this house. Gotta have meat. We're big meat eaters. We're also big fans of chorizo. It's a great breakfast food. So cool. Just dump that into my pan here. I'm just gonna brown this up. You know, another really appropriate thing for me doing this is Captain Pike of Strange New Worlds is also a fan of cooking. You see him cook in the first episode. I could probably say that it's probably safe to tell y'all that you see more of him cooking in the season. Yeah, they talked about this in some of the promotional interviews and stuff they were doing. But one of the things they're going to do is Captain Pike loves to cook for his crew, and so sometimes when they're having a meeting, he'll just invite people to his quarters and cook for them, and they'll have a discussion then and there, which I think kind of makes for good television. You get to have something interesting happening on screen while people are dumping all this dialogue and exposition. That can feel a little old hat at times if you don't liven it up with something interesting visually on screen. And it can, kind of adds like a certain energy. It's like a cool little character detail. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm going to be cooking up some food while I am talking to all of y'all, and y'all are talking to me in the comments. So Jill says getting up at 3 a.m. means if I have a beer, I'll fall asleep. Oh yeah, well you probably don't need it. How about you have like a cup of coffee instead? That might be more appropriate for you. Dan says go ahead and do your thing. It's all fun. It's raining in Chicagoland too. Are y'all getting some rain? It was snowing when I was there. So we had some snow during Star Trek Mission Chicago. But yeah, I got my beef chorizo cooking in there. So now I'm gonna get my crock pot out. Bear with me a moment. I'm gonna disappear, but I'll be right back. Here's my rusty crock pot. I was gonna dump all this Velveeta into it and start getting it melted. Let's get this bad boy plugged in over here. I'm actually gonna have to move y'all over here while I get this going. So I got my Velveeta in the crock, got that going, and then over here I have my chorizo cooking. Just gonna give that a stir. Oh no, can y'all hear the thunder? Let me know if y'all can hear that thunder outside. Yeah, it's not gonna take long to brown up this meat. I'm curious, like, Tex-Mex food, that's like a term I grew up with. Because I was told, it's like, oh yeah, it's like Mexican food, but kind of like Texanified, and it's like Texas mixed with Mexican. But when I got older, I started like traveling and talking to people from, like other parts of the world. I was like, oh yeah, they have Tex-Mex everywhere. I used to think it was just like a Texas thing, but it's kind of it might sound like snobbish, but I do like the more authentic Mexican food more than like the American stuff. I grew up with like a lot of people who cook like traditional Mexican food. One of my neighbors and stuff as a kid, you'd love like going to their house and going like eat like stuff that like their mom or grandma cooked up. And there's a lot of like hole in the wall restaurants around Austin that have like good authentic Mexican food, but they're kind of like overshadowed by the more popular like Tex-Mex, like big chain places like Chewy's or Marty's or Trudy's. It's weird they kind of all have similar names. But yeah, San Antonio actually has much better Mexican food than Austin. So I actually suggest people go like down the road to San Antonio. You want like some good authentic Mexican. But even there, you got to like find like the authentic places, not like the Tex-Mex chain places. But what I'm doing, it's not very. This is very Tex-Mex style, like beef fajitas, queso made with Velveeta, stuff like that, and also a can of Rotel, just a simple diced tomatoes, green chilies. Gonna dump that in there with the Velveeta. Pretty common, basic cheese dip. Good for like things like Fritos or tortilla chips. Growing up, like a lot of people, like if you go spend the night at a friend's house, like their mom might make this as like a quick snack or something. But one way you can spice it up, again, we're big meat eaters here. So you can add like some breakfast sausage, grill up some breakfast sausage, dump that in here. Or in this case, we're doing some beef chorizo. Y'all hear that Klingon acid punk in the background? I have some Star Trek music playing. So this is the Klingon acid punk that Chris Westlake composed for Star Trek Lower Decks. So I'll show y'all my beef chorizo here. So that was my partner, Antonia. Sorry, turned the gimbal around the wrong way. My partner, Antonia, just stopped the music, so sorry about that. I guess she was not a fan of the Klingon acid pump. I got my... No, she's laughing. I don't know if y'all can hear her laughing. She did not like me having to do this stream from in the kitchen. So everyone say thank you, Antonia, for being a good sport. She thought I was going to be doing this outside. That's what I thought I was going to be doing, because we didn't know it was going to be a thunderstorm until very recently. But I got my chorizo browned up, looking good. So now that that's cooked, we don't want to dump any raw meat in here. I'm just going to pour that into the crock. So pouring it in. Sorry I can't show you, but I have to be my own cameraman while I'm doing all this. I'll give you a peek in just a second. Just scraping my wok here. I'm cooking it in a wok. Get all of that in there. Okay. Turn off that burner. We're done with it for now. And so, sorry, gimbal. There we go. Can you see me? So I am stirring up my chorizo and Velveeta in here. Looks sorry. Doesn't look quite as appetizing now as it will in a minute, but yeah, that hot chorizo is gonna help melt that Velveeta, and then we'll have a yummy, meaty, tomatoey, spicy queso for chips and snacking while I get the rest of my cooking done. That's kind of I don't know, maybe this is like a fat man thing. A lot of times if I'm like doing like a lot of cooking, I got to make like the first thing I got to cook is like a little snack for me to snack on while I'm getting the rest of the food finished. So I learned that from one of my uncles. I have a lot of cooks in my family. I didn't really start cooking food much until, because it was like after my mom died, and I missed like having like home cooked food regularly. So I was like, well, I just got to do it myself. But no, I kind of like it. It's like one of my one of my passions, one of my hobbies. I think it's something I get better at every year. So it's never too late to learn. Let's read some comments though. We got Jill says Prodigy is amazing. Was the Doctor's holographic son playing Klingon acid punk in that Voyager episode? Jill, yes, I think that we can assume that was some variety of extreme Klingon music. But I'm kind of more of a metalhead than a punk, but I like the Klingon acid punk. And to me, it actually sounds like a little bit more like it's that thrashy type of punk, which has kind of a strong overlap with heavy metal. There's a lot of thrash metal. Daniel Co says, "Oops, sorry, put the wrong comment up. Had to work last night, then dropped off little Dan to school, went to sleep this morning, picked up the son, just helped him with homework. So now I'm finally got the chance to Trek myself." Well, that's awesome, Dan. So I got all the important shit taken care of, and sit down to relax with some good old fashioned Star Trek. It's really in blue says, Fatheree almost has me talked into going to the grocery store after work to get the Mexican blend cheese and tortillas. I'm missing to make something for Cinco. I don't drink. Got to party somehow. Yes, really in blue. Celebrate whatever works for you. So, hey Google, resume music. I'm gonna skip the track. Don't worry. Hey Google. Hey Google. Sorry, I'm gonna mute my mic real fast. Okay. So I got a different track of music playing. So GL47 says, I am super excited for Ambassador at Large Robert April episode where he does kick-ass diplomatic miracles. Okay, I'll be right back to stirring up. Okay, so get hot. Okay, so I got the lid on the crock pot. I'll show you all the result when that is ready. And so look, Starfleet Boy is here. He says he's driving and listening. So if you don't know, Starfleet Boy is doing a stream on, is it Picard is tonight? I think Picard tonight, Strange New Worlds on Sunday. That's starting in 1 hour, right? Starfleet Boy, let us know if that's right or wrong. Be safe driving, though. And give us a heads up on that. I am going to get my oven going so that my jalapeno poppers can cook. So I haven't really cooked these in the oven before. I'm just going to throw them in there at 350 and just cook till the bacon looks done, and then we'll pull them out and see how they are. So let my oven get hot and come over here. Sorry, just 1 second. What? People are going to start showing up in about an hour, so you think I should wait? You think I should wait on the poppers? Okay. Tony wants me to wait on the poppers. She's scared that they'll get cold. So wait on those. I'll trust her judgment. Let me know, do y'all like jalapeno poppers? Instead, though, I can get my veggies cut up because I'm going to grill up some fresh veggies with my beef fajitas. So I'll get that going in 1 second. Okay. So got a hot burner over there. So I'm gonna stay away from that. I got my handy dandy cutting board. We're going to cut up my veggies. So let me grab those real fast. Okay, I'm back out of the fridge. So with my beef fajitas, I'm gonna have 2 jalapenos in there. Get those off to the side over here. I'm gonna have 1 whole white onion or yellow onion. Yeah, yellow onion. I have those mixed up because to me, like a yellow onion is white when you cut it up. And 2 bell peppers. Let me wash these off, and then we'll slice and dice. So, is everyone in agreement that they liked? I know it's not a competition, but did most people like the Strange New Worlds premiere more than the Picard season 2 finale? Is there anyone who feels opposite? I'd be curious to know that if that's true. So feel free to comment away on that while me bring my camera over here to the sink where I am going to be washing my veggies in just a moment. Let me get a bowl to put them in. Okay, got my bowl over here. Yeah. 1 bell pepper. Actually, throw down the paper towel in my bowl to suck up some of the water that'll be on these things. Bell pepper. Put the disposal on for a second. 2 bell pepper. So, I mean, like a bell pepper is good if you want to like add some pepper flavor, but not like over spice it. For people who don't love spice as much as I do, you know, I like to go crazy sometimes. I'll throw in like some sliced up, you know, a lot of jalapenos, and then like some serranos, and then even like a few habaneros. You know, some people say like they don't think habaneros have like a good flavor. It's just like too much spice on the flavor, but I kind of like the flavor of habaneros. Maybe I'm just a weirdo for thinking that. All right, so I got my jalapenos, my bell pepper. Get my onion ready. Oops. Sorry about that. Bump it into my phone. Take this outer layer, this yucky part of the onion off. Onions get a bad rap sometimes. Like a lot of people like really hate onion, but I think it's because they just haven't had it cooked right. You get so much flavor out of onion. I love like grilled onion on hamburgers, stuff like that. Throw this away into the trash. Yeah, what do we got in the comments? Okay, let me take a look here. So Cerulean Blue says, I don't rank my Trek. Don't feel a need to place one above another. Cerulean Blue, I respect that. I think it's weird that the internet is so obsessed with ranking everything. Like there's so many like top 10 lists, so many like here's the order of all the Star Trek shows, the order I think that they're best to worst, or here's like all the MCU movies ranked from best to worst. I think that's so many of these things aren't designed to be compared to each other. I don't even like grading episodes. That's not like on Tex-Trek we don't do like a traditional review where like we give it a score at the end. We all make fun of Starfleet Boy because he loves everything so much. He gives everything a 10 out of 10. But I don't think that distilling something down to like a number grade like that really tells you much, especially if you've just had like an hour and a half long conversation about it. Y'all probably heard me say that before. I'm just flipping through the comments here on my phone. Daniel says the Picard finale was okay. I thought the final scenes between Picard and Q were touching. That was a lot of us have been waiting for some of that. David talked about that on Tex-Trek recently, how he really wants to see like that confrontation or just like the dialogue, a conversation piece between Delancey and Patrick Stewart. Jill says Delancey was amazing in that finale, in that final moment, that hug. Did anyone tear up at that? I think that might have been a tearjerker for a lot of fans. Cerulean Blue says, I'll rate individual episodes, but not pit one against each other. Yeah, I get that. Joel, I loved them both. Picard as an episode is hard to separate. It's the joy of seeing Wesley as basically the Doctor. I think you might have meant the Traveler. But yeah, Wes is a Traveler, like the Traveler. He talked about this at Mission Chicago, and he didn't say that he was going to be in Picard. He was kind of playing it coy, but he did say that in his head canon, he pictured Wes as basically like a Time Lord from Doctor Who, except I guess he doesn't need the TARDIS. Maybe he has some type of technology that allows him to beam through time and space. But he basically said like this is a guy like in charge of protecting the universe, protecting the timelines, and he can just travel to wherever, whenever, and that's what he does. And that's cool, and that's so much better than if he ended up a junior officer in engineering on the USS Titan, which is what the deleted scene from Star Trek Nemesis had him doing. And I'm glad that is not canonical. Will Wheaton is glad that is not canonical. So, and now we have confirmation of that. Jill says, I hope Seven will be captain of the Stargazer next season. Jill, I have good news. I think there's a very strong chance of that. I'm not sure what else I can say, but there will be some. There's gonna be some material come out between, sometimes they do like the audio dramas and the novels and stuff between seasons. There's something coming out after season 2, but before season 3 of Picard that has Seven commanding the Stargazer, and that's something set between seasons 2 and season 3. So that's all I'll say, but be on the lookout for that. Dan says, however, I thought Rios staying behind in 24 was predictable. We all knew it would happen as soon as he got involved with Teresa. Yeah, everyone saw that coming, I think, weeks ago. Cerulean Blue cried. He said, I cried with the hug. Thought I could be strong. Nah. So that's like my oven is preheated, but I'm not going to throw the poppers in just yet. Cerulean Blue says Q wasn't alone at the end. We were all with him. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to be the last we see of Q. I think there's going to be a way to get him into season 3, but I'll talk more about that perhaps tomorrow night on the podcast stream we're going to be doing. Joel says it was a Q/Picard love story all along. That is definitely one way to read it. Just Roy 5 says, hi all, Just Roy 5. Am I saying that? Or no, Just Rosie. Just Rosie 5. Sorry. Hi all. Well, hi, Just Rosie. Everyone say hi to Just Rosie 5. Cerulean Blue, and it's odd Q died before they ever met. Yeah, he died in 2 years from now in 2024. Oh, look, my Aunt Jamette Fatheree is here in the audience. Well, Jamette, hi, how are you? I am cooking some beef fajitas. I'm cooking, so I'm going to grill up some sausage, and I have some queso, some chorizo and Velveeta queso going in the crock pot right now. Oh, and some jalapeno poppers with bacon and cream cheese. I was going to cook outside, Jamette, but it is raining here in Austin. There's a lot of thunder outside. Is it raining in Rockdale? Does it look like a lot of it was going to be northeast of here, so I'm wondering if Rockdale's getting hit right now. But let me know. Joel says, Cerulean Blue, Wibbly, Wobbly, Timey, Wimey. That's definitely what's going on. Just Rosie 5 says, someone posted the timeline order in a Facebook group last night to include Strange New Worlds. I bookmarked it. Oh, cool. I wanna see that. Yeah, I love that we're getting all these new additions to the Star Trek timeline, fleshing out all these different time periods with new shows, new content, and how it can weave in and out of established canon. I'm just fascinated by all this. It's like a dream come true to me. Someone who grew up with so much Star Trek. I was a baby in the 80s when the Next Generation started. Season 1 in 87, and so I grew up with TNG, DS9, Voyager, and then we got to Enterprise. It felt normal to me to have like constant Star Trek. And then when Enterprise got canceled, and for the first time in my life, there was like, since I was little bitty, there was like no new Star Trek coming out, and I'm just like, what? They can do that? They can like just stop making Star Trek? So I love that we've returned to a golden age of just like constant Star Trek now. Really cool. So I need to get this onion diced. So let me grab my good knife, start cutting away, slice through that baby. So I actually have a technique I learned from, there's this YouTube cook named Kent Rollins. He's like cowboy style cooking in Oklahoma. So we make fun of Oklahoma a lot. The University of Texas and University of Oklahoma are big rivals in football and other sports. So I give Larry Nemechek a proud Okie, even though he lives in California. Now, if you all know Dr. Trek himself, Larry Nemechek, surely if you know Tex-Trek, you know Dr. Trek. But he is a proud Okie and is a very much a boomer sooner type dude. Okay, but my technique for cutting onions is I cut it in half, and then I cut the halves in half, like boom, boom, boom. So I get like these 4 slices, and I leave like this root part on to help it stay together while I'm cooking. And then I just grill both sides of it in a cast iron. I would just do it on like the charcoal grill outside, was the original plan, but couldn't do that today. So got my onion chopped. I'm gonna do my bell peppers next. So bell pepper, slice in half right here. I'm gonna grill this side and this side, face up, face down. I'm gonna get the core part out of here, some of this membrane. Don't want to cuff that part. Just peel that out or cut that out. The stuff here. Throw that away. Yeah, so it's rainy weather here, but May, springtime, I imagine like a lot of y'all in the Northern Hemisphere at least. I don't know if I have any Southern Hemisphere audience, any like Australians or South America. But I'm curious, like, what's the weather like in your neck of the woods? And I have some UK people that chime in from time to time, and other Europeans where it's not always as sunny as it is here, but maybe like this time of year you kind of get a break from the gloominess and the cold. I'm actually a fan of the winter weather because I think it just gets hotter than hell here in the summer. August in Texas, it can reach like well over 110 Fahrenheit, or like get up well deep into the 40s Celsius. Now, that's just too damn hot. So the older I get, the more I appreciate the winter. The winters we get, it does get cold here, but like when I say cold, I mean like, yeah, it'll get like below freezing sometimes, but it doesn't get like super duper cold. And so slice up my jalapeno just long ways down the middle like that to grill both sides. So the thing about if you're doing beef fajitas or chicken fajitas, that's like the two, I guess, traditional. It doesn't make sense, does it? Because like the Spanish word fajita, I think actually translates to like it's some form of beef. But normally if you're making fajitas, you use some grilled up skirt steak for beef fajitas, or you slice up some chicken and grill that. But you want to get it cooked with the veggies so that like the juices from the meat will incorporate with the vegetables, and the pepper and onion juices will incorporate with the meat. So that's kind of what I think of as would make something fajita style. So got my veggies cut. How we doing on time? I'm gonna check out my queso real quick. Let me give this a stir. Make sure it's getting melted. So show you the queso. Let me grab the gimbal, and then so right here in the crock pot, that cheese still has a long way to go before it's all melted, but it is starting to melt with that hot chorizo mixed in there. So I'm gonna put the lid back on it and let it keep going. I have to do a taste test after we get it all melted and melded, mixed together. So let me read some more comments. So we got Cake is Eternal. They seem to think as long as they mention not messing up the timeline, that's enough. Now there is some wibbly wobbly time stuff, like y'all were saying. We're going to talk about that more on the podcast stream tomorrow night. Cerulean Blue says, and now we know why in Prodigy we saw the distant future scene with the bored child sitting in class learning the Federation history of O'Brien's Accords. Yes, yes, yes. I love that that does kind of foreshadow this is something that I've always wanted in Star Trek. Y'all probably heard me mention it before, but yeah, I thought it was a great idea to have the Borg adapt to being friends instead of being enemies. I think it's very much in the Star Trek tradition, going back to the original series when the Organians told Kirk and Core, one day Klingons and Federation will learn to be friends and we'll do great things together. And yeah, I think that's a very cool tradition to have in the Star Trek universe. Is that like we do encounter enemies as we stretch out across the cosmos to explore strange new worlds, but we are often able to, given enough time, become friends with those enemies. I think that's very much a Star Trek tradition. Just Rosie says, yeah, the moment between Picard and Q really touched me. Also, I'm an atheist, but the ending of Picard kind of made me wonder about that. Yeah, Q is. I think his like godlike status actually might come into play in season 3. So I'm not sure if that's like what you were getting at, but Joel says meant the doctor from who? Oh, Joel, you're saying he's basically like the Gallifreyan doctor. Yeah, the doctor. Okay. Joel says Fatheree is filled with forbidden knowledge. Am I? I don't know. Most people would say I'm full of shit, not knowledge, but I'll take that as a compliment, though. Thank you. Cake is Eternal 7 seems to have a knack for getting people to give her their ships. Yeah, she got the La Serena. She got that first episode in Picard, she's like, "You owe me a ship, Picard." So I guess someone needed to pay her a ship. Was it the Girardi says a ship for a life in season 2? So I guess ships are a currency now. But now she gets the Stargazer. So she's inheriting all these ships from Rios. It's like whenever Rios is done with a ship, like 7 is next in line to inherit it from him, I guess. Jill, I teared up when Talon died. Orla Brady was so great in that moment. That was there's some wacky stuff in that episode I didn't like. There's some stuff that I love, but that scene that might have been my favorite moment, just because of Orla Brady's performance. I thought was brilliant. I got emotional too. He's Eternal says, so is Loris JLP's Watcher? I'm not sure how Loris and Talon tie together. I think it's kind of lame if that just Lars is just like Talon's descendant. Maybe Lars becomes Talon and goes back in time to watch over Renee. We know Romulans can live for a long time because they're basically like Vulcans. So yeah, maybe she goes and like spends all of Renee's life as her guardian angel and then dies in Picard's arms like that. I don't know. Maybe they are just two different people. Maybe season 3 will tell us. Just Rosie, yes, you got it right. I've been waiting for you to have a good view of your screen so you could read my name right. Sorry. It takes me a little bit. Be patient. I'm still a learner, but I do learn. Joel says, 47. I didn't, or at Jill 47. I didn't think she was going to die. I really thought she was Lars. Yeah, Joel, I wasn't expecting that either. But the acting there, the performance was strong. Jill says, why is no one talking about the Khan project? Noonien Singh. Um, I have some thoughts on the possible Noonien connection there. Joel, I was 10 when TNG started, had already seen all of TOS. My dad was a fan. So yeah, Joel, you probably know what I'm talking about, right? Because then when from 10 years old until what would it have been until you were like 28, there's this constant Star Trek, then all of a sudden they just stop. What was that like for you? Because for me, it was weird. It was frustrating. Jill saw TOS in first run though, so that is incredibly awesome. Cerulean Blue says, I thought they rushed Talon's scene too much. I wish we could have had more time for her to shake Spirit up a little more. I think I wanted over drama to play against Stewart's death. They could have maybe like milked some more out of that, but yeah, the episode had a lot of stuff to wrap up, and no, I wouldn't want it to feel bloated. I wouldn't want it to feel like they packed in too much. So maybe that's why they kind of streamlined that. But I totally think they could have. Maybe if there was like some strong writing, if it was like if the writing was particularly strong to live up to the actors' capabilities, I think yeah, they could have deepened that. That's a good point you bring up. Joel says Khan was the smallest thing to me compared to the rest. Yeah, the Khan thing is and Jill says it's so season 3. I don't know what she's like season 3 of TOS. Were they trying too hard to make? I think if you compare that to what we learn of the eugenics war in Strange New Worlds, it does have some interesting ramifications and maybe retconning some or clarifying some details about the eugenics war. We'll talk about that for sure tomorrow in the Tex-Trek stream. Okay, Jill 47. I've never heard of a single person in my entire life who doesn't like onions, by the way. Oh, well, I guess I just know like a lot of pickier eaters than you do. Dave on Tex-Trek, he didn't eat onions until recently, and he's he's like a grown man. He's not like a picky little kid. He's a guy who's been around for a while. So, but he did learn. He did like start eating onions eventually. Cerulean Blue, got to see it on a movie screen. If you saw like that death scene on a movie screen. Cerulean Blue, Joel says Orla Brady knocked it out the park. Some more onion talk. Just Rosie also chiming in on the onions. What do we got about Star Trek in here, though? Klingons would enjoy the Doors, like the band. You think they'd? I mean, I'm a fan of Jim Morrison and the Doors. It's some groovy tunes, some pretty revolutionary stuff, really. Until you get to L.A. Woman album, but all their earlier stuff I think is brilliant. And talk about music too. Cerulean Blue. I love the way Mom used to caramelize onions. Okay, so tons of caramelized onions is fantastic. So now I got my veggies chopped. Actually, throw them in here. I'm gonna start getting my cast iron hot to grill them on, and I think it's probably safe to throw the poppers in now. Don't you think, Miss Antonia? Yeah. Okay, I have permission from my my supervisor. throw in the poppers. So let me get them. Let me show you all the poppers. So I'm getting a little better at working this gimbal. So right here, see, the way that we do it is we just lay the bacon on top of jalapenos sliced in half. That way, when they cook, the grease can run down into the cream cheese. And the cream cheese, I think it has some type of shredded, I think cheddar. I think Antonia put some cheddar. She prepared these last night before she went to bed. So I'm gonna go ahead and there's a couple that didn't have bacon because we ran out of bacon. So the thick cut bacon we buy, it's kind of always a gamble how many slices are in there. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 12. So let me get these cooking. So they're gonna cook at 350 degrees. Probably doesn't take them too long. We'll just have to monitor, see how they're doing. I got my cast iron over here. So I love cooking on a cast iron skillet. This is a cast iron I inherited from my grandma. It's like 100 years old right here. So I'm getting it hot. Put a little bit of avocado oil in there. And then, sorry, this gimbal, I'm not always great at spinning it around. I get it back to me eventually. But I am going to throw my veggies in there and get them grilled up. And I'm going to put my fajita meat in there, which I probably should already done this, but got it out of the fridge. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some shrimpy shrimps. So I'm cheating a little bit. I'm not like marinating my own meat. I'm using like this already prepared beef steak meat that's already seasoned for fajitas. If you live in Texas, you probably know the grocery store H-E-B. It's like considered like one of the top grocery stores in the world. They have really high quality food. They're extremely common here in Texas. That's where most people shop. And I'm going to get this grilling in just a moment. I'm going to do my veggies first. So let me get some avocado oil. Also for H-E-B. It's H-E-B. This is an H-E-B brand. Pretty good. I cook with avocado oil a lot. It's healthy and it allows you to, it has a really high smoke point, so you can do like a lot of like high temperature cooking. So just put in a little, like a slightly larger than a quarter size. That's all I need. Get that up around the edges. And the cast iron is already hot because I had it in the oven while I was preheating. So the skillet is hot. Oil is getting hot. I'll throw in our veggies in just a second. So I'm going to sear both sides of these veggies, pull them out. I'm going to sear both sides of the steak, pull that out, cut up the steak, and then mix all the veggies and the steak back together in the cast iron and let it finish cooking. That's the technique I use when preparing beef fajitas. So before I do that, I'm going to stir my queso again. Just like to check the progress on it, get an idea for when that might be ready to dip some chips into. So cheese, this is probably 50% melted now. Give it another 15 minutes maybe, it'll be 100% melted. And I'm also going to be throwing some shrimps on my griddle. I'm going to oil these up with some olive oil and throw some seasoning on there and stick them on those long stick things, skewers, and then grill those on my griddle inside. Because if you didn't hear me say earlier, we're having some thunderstorm weather, and I couldn't cook outside on the charcoal grill like I originally intended. But sorry, still not great at working this gimbal. Okay, I need my own camera person in here, but it's a one-man show today, but that's okay. Let's read some more comments. So what else we got? Was discovered the Borg never win any timeline as villains. They have to evolve or perish. Yeah, I like that idea that, like, yeah, being an asshole and trying to conquer everyone was not a winning formula. So maybe be less dickish and things will work out better for you. I think it was a good message. Cake is eternal. So in the last 400 years, if the Borg stopped assimilating and destroying, hopefully some worlds, people. I think this actually connects to something that happened on Voyager and that they kind of reference in the first episode of season 2 of Picard. I'll talk about that more tomorrow, but I think there's a clear way forward of how to make all the Borg stuff make sense. I'll talk about that in the Tex-Trek stream. Cerulean Blue says, "Is that the Borg?" Yeah, they're talking about Jill 47 is talking about the Borg. Did that happen on screen? Maybe. I'm not really sure what y'all are talking about there. But Joel says we did get some major Gorn eggs in Strange New Worlds. Yes, yeah, there are a lot. We're going to be unpacking those tomorrow night. A lot of Easter eggs and continuity connections and in jokes that we'll be pointing out. Dave and I think, are doing the stream tomorrow. Jill says, sounds like Kirk was pretty lucky with that Gorn captain. Well, yeah, he wasn't taken to a nursery planet, though, was he? He was just facing one Gorn. Maybe that's like the grown-up Gorn. Maybe that was a baby Gorn that ate Leon's family or something. We don't know. We know Locutus would have still have happened. Yeah, I think like the Borg stuff, like Next Generation, like I think all that still happens. I'll try to explain it tomorrow night. So that's just a incentive to tune in. My interpretation of it. We'll see if you agree or disagree with what I have to say. Just Rosie says, I like the new Borg Queen's new look. And that's cool. I also like how the Borg are taking a new turn for the better, and the Federation is giving them a chance. That's a difficult lesson to learn. Yeah, Jill's asking what's going on with the weather now. I mean, like here, it's like still thunder outside. I think there might be some rain coming down. It looks like it might just start like pouring hard any moment. I think it's just light rain right now, but yeah, we can get some intense stormy weather here. So my oil is hot in the cast iron. So the first thing I'm gonna do, actually, let's do these. Stop. Had a timer go off. Let's do. I need to feed my dog in just a moment. He's hungry too. I'm gonna do my jalapenos first because they cook the fastest. So I'm just gonna sear these on both sides. So get that going in there. And then I'm gonna throw in these thick pieces of onion because they'll take the longest. Get that going. And then I have to do the bell peppers and the rest of the onion. So give that a few minutes in there. And then I need to season up my shrimp. Mostly thawed. I had that in the freezer. That's probably a big enough bowl. Mix up the shrimp in. Where's my beer? I'm like barely drinking. I opened this beer when I started cooking. I barely stopped long enough to take a drink. Comes out with these veggies. Yeah, so my stream should be starting in about 30 minutes. So be sure to check that out if you want to get He's gonna have some friends on over there, and they are going to be talking about Picard. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Picard on Starfleet Boy today. Strange New World on Starfleet Boy Sunday. These jalapenos, are they ready to cook yet? No, it doesn't cook as fast out here. Yeah, so that looks good. That's what you want to see when you're cooking these up. Let me see if I can show you one. Like, see how it like blisters like that and it's sweating? It doesn't take long. Jalapenos cook really fast. You don't want to burn them either. So the onions are going to need more time before I flip them and sear both sides. See what my poppers look like. So that bacon still looks pretty raw. Gonna need more time there. Queso is melting. So everything looks pretty good right now. Let's read some more comments. Blue says, they better explain the Borg better and soon. I think there's going to be more on that in season 3, though. We have this transwarp corridor or whatever thing. I think they're setting up a big threat for season 3. Just as Girardi is immortal now. I don't know if she's immortal, but I think she can probably live a long ass time as a Borg queen. Like regeneration and adaptation. Those are like big things for Borg. So probably like the queen probably has some longevity. Unless you like snap their robot neck like Picard did in First Contact. If that was a lot of Gorn, yeah, you get eaten. Gorn eat people apparently. That's canonical. And Joel's agreeing with me on the Borg, living a long time. Picard did one Trek miracle, made the Borg interesting again. Yeah, you can say that the Borg are getting like a little played out. Okay, that still needs more time. Jalapenos. This side will take a little longer to cook. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit. If you're searing something, that should be a low or high temp and then short amount of time, right? Onion is not cooking at all yet. If I was on the grill outside, the charcoal grill, I'd probably be done by now. That is much faster. We're going to turn the heat up on the stove. So, like I said, I knew the onions were going to take the longest. Dan says the company I work for manufactures a lot of labels for HEB products. Oh, cool. It's a very popular store here. Everyone seems pretty happy with it. Cerulean Blue says, okay, help me understand, what was the giant new wormhole-looking thing, and where did they say it went again? Out of the galaxy? Yeah, they kind of just like throw that in at the last minute. Definitely something that's going to be addressed in season 3. I think that was just like hey, here's the thing. We're just going to drop it in your lap and not tell you anything about it. Just tune in for season 3 if you want to know more. So, I've only watched the Picard episode once. I'm going to watch it again tonight with some friends. Then I'm going to watch it a couple more times before we do the stream tomorrow. I took off work today and tomorrow so that I could have time to get my party ready, get the podcast stream ready tomorrow night. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do. Maybe there's something in there I missed. Maybe it'll make more sense on rewatch. But yeah, it seems like they didn't really explain it. This hole that Girardi now stands eternal guard over. What do we call her? Queen Girardi? Yeah, I think she's just like the Borg queen. Or I guess if you're on first name basis, like Picard and Raffi and Seven, they can call her Agnes. But I think everyone else, the galaxy at large, would just refer to her as the queen. It looks like my jalapenos are now seared good on both sides. I'm just going to pull them off, drop them in here, and then see how this onion is doing. There's a little bit of color on there. Not a ton, but I'll get these these smaller pieces of onion. And I can put some bell pepper in there too. One of the bell peppers in there. So that's getting ready. I need to get my shrimp seasoned. So come with me over here, this side of the kitchen. Oops. I hate this thing sometimes. It's hard to control. Okay. So rub the shrimp down with some olive oil and some seasonings. Run a little bit of water on the shrimp, rinse it off. Got my shrimp rinsed off. All that water out of my bowl. I'm gonna season them in here. And wash my hands. Stay sanitary. Raw shrimp juice is kind of gross. I'll be touching my peppers and onions and stuff. Yeah, I think season 3 has a lot of potential right now. But I feel like so much is I feel like the bar is raised super high for season 3 because for a lot of the stuff at the end of season 2, sorry, I'm coming back. Bear with me. One man show, working the camera myself. So thanks for a lot of the stuff in season. Come on, camera. For season 2 to make sense, they're gonna have to do some explanation in season 3. I think with the TNG crew returning, I think that really raises the bar for expectations. So Terry Metalis won a lot of favor with the audience with the first couple seasons of Star Trek Picard. I'm gonna show you these onions in a minute. They're starting to look pretty good. But I think the back half of season 2 of Picard frustrated a lot of people. I think there's a lot of good stuff in there, but I can definitely understand people who had some. I don't know. Can you see that? Can you see the onions? Do they look good? But well, people, are frustrated. So, spinning around. Okay, here we go. Onions, yummy, caramelized. So those will be sliced up and mixed with the fajita meat in just a moment. Folks should start getting here in 20 minutes or so. So hopefully I'll have the queso and the poppers ready while I'm finishing up the fajita meat, and then the sausages won't take much time at all to grill. I'm actually gonna have to bounce off the stream in a moment. All of that being said, though, are you excited for season 3? Let me know. Like, what do we have here in the comments? Jill says, "Don't get tomato stains on that shirt." Yeah, this is the Chateau Picard shirt. I'm actually going to change into a Star Trek The Cage shirt. It has like all the Cage characters. Really beautiful, like painted artwork. It looks very like photorealistic. I don't know if anyone's like seen. I've worn it on content before, but I'm gonna have some pictures. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm gonna have like pictures of our watch party. So be on the lookout for that. And talking about Queen Durrani, transwarp conduit. DS9 wormhole vibes. Yeah, I don't know what this transwarp conduit's going to be. I'm almost like not even speculating too hard on that. Just like, I'll just have to wait till they'll explain it in season 3. I got Strange New Worlds to focus on in the meantime, and Prodigy and Lower Decks and all this stuff. So I want to be optimistic for season 3. Like I said, there's a lot of potential there. There's just like so much writing. Will it live up to expectations? Will it satisfy all of these expectations? We'll find out. But yeah, so anything else before I sign off in just a moment? A lot of Borg Roddy talk. Yeah, Allison Pill's not going to be in season 3. That's confirmed. I don't think Issa Briones is going to be in season 3. I don't think Eleanor is going to be in season 3 very much. He might show up a little bit. It's going to be the TNG cast. A lot of them are going to be in a lot of episodes. Then Seven and Raffi, and of course Picard. Season 3 is going to look pretty different from seasons 1 and season 2. But yeah, so again, we're going to be talking about that Picard finale tomorrow, and talking about like the Strange New Worlds career. I have so many thoughts on that we didn't get into today. So really looking forward to that. And everyone, if you're watching this now, you need to go over to Starfleet Boys channel in about 18 minutes, where they will be talking about the Picard finale. I think maybe Strange New Worlds, but I think Picard finale. If anyone can confirm that, let me know. And hopefully we get that 800. We need like that one more subscriber. If you're out there, if you can hit subscribe, someone do the refresh. Tell me if we hit it yet. I am very curious as I check this bell pepper, see if it's cooked yet. And flipping my onions. So, yeah. In the meantime, check out Starfleet Boy and come back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central for the double header live podcast talking about both those episodes of Trek. And then you can listen to that also wherever you get your podcast. And we're going to be covering every episode of Strange New Worlds every Friday at 7 p.m. live. And then you can listen to the podcast on Mondays. Going away for now, but until next time, as always, live long and prosper, y'all.